Hello, I'm Arvid Peterson, and this is the first of a two-part presentation on technocracy, an alternative social system. Because of the turmoil throughout the world, and because of the uncertainties about the future of North America, it is not surprising that many Americans are becoming quite concerned. The relentless bombardment of conflicting statements that come from our business and financial leaders, the inane rhetoric pouring from the mouths of politicians, and the fragmented bits of news that come from the media all add up to general confusion throughout the land. Fortunately, however, there is a solution to the many problems facing this country and this continent. And the purpose of these discussions is to talk about those problems and to delineate the kind of solution that is needed. To introduce to you the subject science applied to social operations. These programs are not intended to entertain or amuse you, nor are they meant to scare you. We are making a new approach. It is not political, financial, philosophical, legal, religious, or moral. It is a technological approach. Technocracy is the scientific answer to America's social problems. The analysis that we shall make is quite different, and the design for social operations that will be presented a little later is uniquely American. It has no counterpart anywhere else in the world. You are aware of many of the problems that are facing this country and this continent. Here are a few of the most obvious of them. We have runaway inflation, ever-increasing taxes, chronic unemployment, political corruption at all levels of government, serious energy shortages, business instability, rampant crime, poisoning of the environment, and so forth and so on. As a nation, we have failed to solve any of these problems because we refuse to recognize the cause. All of these difficulties emanate from a single source, and that is the outmoded economic system under which we are operating. The basic cause of our troubles is the price system. Now, that term price system might be new to you, but it is the fundamental structure that is out of step with 20th century North America. We're not talking about capitalism or free enterprise or any of the terms that the economists are prone to use, nor are we referring to political controls. We're talking about the basic system that all nations use in their day-to-day affairs, buying and selling in the marketplace. Here is the definition. Any social system that exchanges goods and services by trade or commerce that's based on commodity evaluation and uses debt tokens or money is a price system. And today, all nations, regardless of what political ideology they may hold, whether it's democracy, autocracy, plutocracy, monarchy, socialism, communism, fascism, or whatever, you name it, all of them operate within the framework of a price system. Every one of them buy and sell goods in the marketplace, and they all use money in one form or another. Price systems everywhere, past and present, have two basic requirements. There must be scarcity, and there must be growth or expansion. Now, in the past, these two conditions were met in the United States, and the price system did work moderately well. Scarcity was needed, of course, to establish value or price, and scarcity was a natural phenomenon. In the development of this country and in the westward movement, there was plenty of room for growth, and we certainly did grow. Today, however, these two conditions are very elusive, and the price system is running into much, much trouble. Scarcity has been abrogated by the advent of technology, and in the absence of scarcity, there's just less growth. We have reached a point in our national development where we can produce more of everything than we can consume, so expansion just isn't needed. In the price system, money or debt is the lifeblood of the system, and therefore it is necessary to continuously create new debt to validate the existing debt. So our financial manipulators are always seeking new ways to justify the creation of additional debt. Now, to better understand the present social instability, we should review the principal physical events that have led up to the current mess in which we now find ourselves. And to get a better perspective, let's establish a time reference. These two dates have little significance in themselves, but they demarcate three general eras: the time prior to 1800, the century between the two dates, and the time since the turn of the 20th century. We are going to add many more details to this chart, but to begin with, we will state positively that prior to the year 1800, North America was a low-energy civilization. Now, why was it a low-energy society? Because all through history, the principal engine for converting energy to do work was the human being. And we know that an adult man or woman can convert energy at the rate of 1/20th horsepower per hour over an extended work time. Now, that's very small. The average home refrigerator has a 1/4 horsepower electric motor in it, several times larger than what a human engine can convert. But in spite of this low rate of energy conversion, all through history, 98% of all work done was a result of human toil. The other 2%, because it came from sources outside of human muscle power, we call it extraneous energy. And as you well know, it came from draft animals, horses and oxen, or crude water wheels and windmills. Because the human engine was limited, the output from that engine also was limited. And therefore, no matter how many people were on the job or how long they worked from dawn till dark, they could never produce quite enough. There were always shortages. Therefore, prior to the year 1800, every society was locked into conditions that we call scarcity. Let us put the two factors on our chart, the 98% and the 2%. If we consider this line to be 100% from bottom up to the top, the 2% extraneous energy line would be close to the bottom, something like that. And the 98% extraneous or human energy line would be up near the top. If we were to extend these two lines backwards from the year 1800 backwards, no matter how far you want to go, they would remain straight and parallel. There would be no ups, no downs, which means that throughout the 7,000 years of recorded history, and for untold centuries before that, every society was locked into what we call a social steady state. That means that there was no change in the rate of energy conversion, no change in the way of doing work to produce goods. There were changes, or there were various events that happened, of course. Cultures flourished and cultures disappeared. There were political upheavals, wars, migrations, droughts, floods, plagues, and so forth. But there was no change in the rate of energy conversion, no change in the way people produce consumable goods. And scarcity prevailed everywhere. If ever a few people did enjoy a decent standard of living, it was always at the expense of the many, who existed at a bare subsistence level. Some individuals glibly talk about how wholesome life was in the past, ignoring the fact that all through history, perhaps 95% of all people were either peasants, serfs, or slaves. Even as late as George Washington's time, the majority of our people were either slaves or indentured servants. Now, just prior to the year 1800, a very significant event occurred. I believe it was in 1782, about when the United States became an independent country. Over in Scotland, a young man by the name of James Watt developed the first double-acting steam engine.